Buddha.
T-Slay! Rags in the air, when we wake up. Rags in the air, rags in the air. Get this paper. Rags in the air, rags in the air. I bake the cake up. Rags in the air, rags in the air. I step my weight up. Rags in the air, rags in the air, rags in the air, rags in the air, rags in the air.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Tahyira Savannah, and welcome back to another episode of The T Show. I'm here with my beautiful guests, and they're like my friends, just being clear. The owners of Chill Bucket Productions. We have Dakota and Jeff here today.
Hey.
T Show, well, say hi.
Hi.
The T Show, hosted by Tahyira Savannah, is a visual and storytelling platform honoring a community of like-minded individuals who are passionate about creating change and leaving a positive impact on the world around us. My guests come from diverse backgrounds and experiences. They all share a common goal, though, sharing and using their talents to make our world a better place. From artists and musicians to entrepreneurs and activists, each guest brings a unique perspective and valuable insight to our show. Today, I'm with Jeff and Dakota. You guys quickly just introduce yourselves, and then we'll jump into some of our questions.
Sure. Okay. So happy to be here. Love that mission statement. That's amazing. My name's Dakota Martin. I live in New York. That is where I originally met Jeff. I went to school for musical theater. I have a BFA in that. By day, I am an administrative manager at an independent school in New York City and do a lot of behind the scenes things. But beyond that, I do a lot of stage managing and directing of high school and community theater. And Jeff and I work together on our passion project, a theater production company called Chill Bucket Productions. Over the years, we've done produced cabarets and directed readings and original plays, and during COVID, a bunch of hybrid cool things, a podcast like you, and now a film festival. So we're really excited to share more with you about that.
Absolutely.
I am Jeff Rocco. I am originally from Spokane, Washington, currently there now after the COVID adventure. I have been doing theater since I was 12 years old. And when I was 19, I started getting more into the production side of things. I was lucky enough to do marketing and merchandise for a couple of Broadway shows, and then worked on a tour for a while and have just made, the entertainment community my life. And I've been artistic director for a few children's theater groups and worked with several theater groups and production companies. So this is just what I do, and I love it. And it's been a great time to sort of grow Chill Bucket with Dakota. We started just producing a yearly fundraiser for children's theater in Idaho. And now we are grown to this film festival, and it's exciting and fun. And to think that, I started like dreaming of living in New York and doing all of those things. And now I've lived in New York, and now I go to New York for shows that I'm producing. So it's exciting.
You're living the dream, aren't you?
Right? Kind of.
How I met them was through backstage, and there's just these people finding people for their theater. And I'm like, oh, it's COVID. I don't know. Can we be on stage? And we're like, we'll figure it out. And I'm not kidding, so not to take it because I could get emotional and it could go left. You guys gave me an opportunity. I didn't see it. And I remember you guys saying at the end of the play, don't stop to hear, keep going. And I did. And I got cast again, and I got a bigger role. And you know what I mean? But you guys are part of my origin story. And I tell that teenager story, and it's in my bio, and it's not going to leave my bio. And your names are going to just get bigger. And it's just amazing, So if you guys are listening right now, I want to just take this break, as you heard the three of us say, chase your dreams. Chase your dreams, because you never know where you may end up at a film festival. And that's where we start. Below the Line was super impressive. That's the name of the film festival. I was honestly really moved by the way you did the lineup. Now, how much thoughtfulness now had went into that programming? Because I know it seems like, oh, but it's like,
We fight a lot, basically what happens. Not
right,
not a ton,
right, right,
but
right.
no. So it's funny because after the films are sort of picked by the judging panel, then Dakota and I are the ones who get to choose the lineup and all of that.
Mhm.
And it starts as like, okay, let's talk about this, let's think about this, and it literally takes a week. Like, we sort of suggest it, and then
Mhm.
we talk about it, and then we talk about it, and then the next day we're like, well, what about this? I mean, I think what we try to do is we try to take like a theater, our background is theater.
Mhm.
So with this, what we try to do is take the audience on a journey and take them through the emotions that we want them to go through,
Right.
and
Right.
just sort of live it. And luckily um I think we hit it really well this year, and that's the goal. We don't just want to throw things on a screen.
Mhm. Mhm. And
That we don't just want to be like, here, look at these films. We want to be here, look at these films, and feel what all of these films
all
can
the
make you
films,
feel.
exactly. I've been to film. I was just gonna say that film festivals, as the audience, you're there, you're watching, you're shopping around, whatever your intentions are. But like, as me, I'm just a creative. I just want to hear like a story. I have to, if I'm sitting there for 2 hours, it's like you better keep me entertained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you guys did that. Emotionally, I felt like I was on a roller coaster. I laughed, I cried, I laughed, I cried. I was confused, and then I cried, and I laughed at myself. Like for real, it's like you watched 10 different stories, but it was the below the line film festival. I just want to make sure that's clear to you guys because I think people were coming up and telling you guys, but it really was. Like I've been to a few and I'm like, they know what they're doing. So that's why I asked that question at the top because it seemed like you guys talked about it and sat and took days because it wasn't just like whatever, number three, number four. No, it was especially when you guys like loaded us up for that obviously very documentary piece that's very close to what we're dealing with. And I just put in my notes war zone, but obviously you guys remember the name of the title. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was basic. I could sum it up quick for the audience. A documentary film person went to like Ukraine, and then I guess the Ukraine thing happened, and then it was paused. But then the documentary obviously changed because that is a bigger story, and then it kind of paused there. And then it was their intermission, and literally everybody got up and was like, "Yeah, I need a break."
Well,
Like that's my intermission.
that is just exactly what you're saying. It's I'm so happy to hear that because this is what Jeff's talking about us like, and this is we've always had to work bi-coastal since because right before the pandemic, Jeff was like, I'm just gonna do this one little show. I have this one gig over there, and I'm not sure what's next, and then I'll be back. But that was 5 years ago, so
Time is flying. Like that pandemic is like, yeah, it's crazy.
so like we've had to do this, and luckily, Film Freeway and like Zoom and all these different platforms that have really risen during COVID because of COVID have really helped us to be able to work
What's up?
individually on stuff and look at all the films separately and assess them and then kind of collaborate on shared things together.
Mhm.
Um, and it honestly, like we used to sit down at a diner after auditions and just plug out, okay, casting, and okay, if we go this scenario, it looks like this. Okay, but here's a problem here. Okay.
Right.
And that's kind of what we did for this too, like that big 11 o'clock number or something when you're doing a play, a musical or a cabaret. You want there to be like, okay, we left them at intermission at this point. They're excited to come back. Okay, and then like the penultimate thing is going to be here. It is really like we want the audience to have that experience.
Mhm.
Um, and that particular film you're talking about, Journey to Bakhmut, the filmmakers on that are pretty um, professional, Sundance,
Yeah, it was a little
uh,
higher, let's say, in
in their
quality
craft, and we
and
also
yeah,
wanted to
production value. I don't like quality, production value. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that we try to balance there too is um, whether it's amateur or student or the production value is really high or the script is really great but the production value is a little more bare
Yeah.
bones or raw, like
Right,
we
right.
do try to balance all of that
Mhm.
in there.
Very cool. No, I love all of everything you guys said. You guys are awesome, also an awesome team, and I think the audience is gonna feel that and read that already. You guys, you found something good. So thank God for the pandemic. From your experience as producers, maybe independently or just like watching other film festivals, how do you start one? Do you just like find a website and throw it up there? Like, tell us like a quick process.
It was totally like we were trying to do as much as we could just to keep ourselves busy, and stay involved. And because I
I love
the
that.
first couple months of COVID were depressing, for so many people. But me and Dakota talked almost every day, and we're like, wait, we have to do something. Like we have to feed the artistic side of ourselves, and we love sharing art and we love sharing stories. And we were like, okay, well, we successfully did quite a few online things during COVID. And so we were like, okay, well, let's give a platform for others to share work that they've done.
Right.
And we really wanted to, there's a million film festivals out there, and we really wanted to try and focus on filmmakers that don't always get a voice in those larger film festivals. So we really really took the time to research what we wanted to do, and who we wanted to reach out to and how we wanted to source
Yeah.
films and all
You
of
approach
that.
it with like intention, specific.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that
And
and
that's
that
where
kind
we
of makes
came with
it.
below the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Below the
Below
line
the line,
workers
right?
are
Yeah.
crew members, and
Mm-hmm.
those people who don't always get into the credits of the film, or things like that.
I don't think
um
some people even know that there's credits that are not there. Like when you see credits in the end of a movie, there's a lot more stuff that's
so
there.
much,
And people just
right,
sit and read the credits and make it. Just
right,
it takes a
right.
lot, And theaters
Yeah.
don't even get credits in the book, and they're like labeled garbage. What? It's
Well,
like
and all
it's a
those
lot of
people, right?
stuff.
Like, especially today, like all the animators and stuff, they're on every film, and there's like columns upon columns. Only certain people get their name in there. Not everybody gets to do it. So we wanted to, shine a light on those people. And our first season was completely online. Um, and then we were like, hey, let's do this in person. A lot of film festival screenings just screen individual films. Like you
Hmm.
can go see this one, this one, this one. And we were like, let's group them together so that people who come to see one film get exposed to more films, because that is how we spread the love around.
Absolutely. So,
Okay, I came to see my friend's film, but did you see that amazing documentary? Did you see that student film? That's someone to watch. And that was really where we wanted to drive it.
I think too, getting all the people together,
hmm
having it kind of come out of COVID, come out of our online work, and not really being able to share that experience of movie going the first year.
yeah,
Um, the second year, we were super excited to just have anybody in the room together and to have some of the filmmakers there.
yeah.
And this year, we had a packed, sold out house,
That's good.
people from that were just supporting specific films that were local, friends of ours, colleagues like you who are theater
Absolutely.
and moviegoers and
Yep.
other creatives. So it was a great place. It was great to bring everyone together
hmm
and network and all of that too.
Absolutely. Like I said, it is community, and I definitely I'm playing my part in it, the media part of it, right? Trying to get the red carpet in. I'm like, is there a carpet? Let's make it as big as we can to mimic like the direction we know. We're all probably gonna end up on big carpets anyway, but like, why can't we start them now? So I
Mm-hmm.
want that too. Love that, love that. Let's talk about Film Freeway because I did use that before. It's been a gem for our community. I think that's something that if you don't know anything, you Google film, it will come up like Film Freeway. What's that? So it's a good way to just get you in. I saw one of my earlier documentaries up there as well. It's like also when you don't know everything, it's not like so 20 years and deadlines and you don't know, you miss something and it's like crap, there goes my $50. It's like it was a lot more easier to manage. So I got it sold and it connects globally, right? Like you can
Mm-hmm.
connect with people in Nigeria, Western Africa. That was like my focus trying to get some of my like creatives like outside of just like New York City and just like tell our story in the world as like
Mhm.
Black Americans or whatever, and then just bring it back to like this is what we're doing here as entrepreneurs, creative, whatever. So I knew about Film Fever, and I know when I went to purchase a ticket, it was the same thing. I wanted to ask you guys, like, what are your long-term visions? Maybe like maybe you guys can like use that as a way to like maybe do the festival in another city, or maybe I don't know, like I just have ideas on things if you guys do.
Dakota, you want to tell them about our most recent diner conversation?
Oh, well, our diner conversations are like, that's literally what we call it, but we do, some people have Subway thoughts, we have diner thoughts. We've talked about trying to make it, trying to expand, but it all depends on who we get, how many submissions we get, what our like all of this stuff though is cultivation, like
Yeah.
cultivating our audience. And for the past 3 years, we've been able to offer a streaming option as well. So we've gotten some of our out of town people and folks that have submitted. We've had a lot of submissions from other countries, which is really fun.
Right.
So that is the cool thing about Film Freeway is that's how we're able to expand our reach a little bit too in terms of submissions.
Mhm.
Um, we would love to be able to do another screening out where Jeff is on the West Coast.
Right.
Um, we're trying every year to just build a little,
Okay.
little by little, like you said, having that red carpet, having,
It's just putting it
implementing these
out
little
there.
things.
You never know what could happen. We're just putting it out there. But for sure, you guys want to go to London, you got staff because I'm down. I got my passport.
We will take you.
There you go.
Listen, if I end up going to school in London, we'll be there.
I'm not kidding. That's a whole nother. But yeah, no, it's always about, and we say that to the audience because it's like you start one thing, dreams build on top of dreams. I literally heard Beyonce and Taylor say that they both got these, and it's like we're here because we never stop dreaming. We've hit a goal. It's like no, let's do errands. What every yes. It's like, like they never, and they're unapologetic because they're like in our age group as well. So they're
Mhm.
like us. It's like we're not kidding. Just keep chasing your dream. So we're trying to take away the celebrity. Like everybody could do it, and take away that kind of access to dreaming too, right? 'Cause
Mhm.
I know in my community, a lot of people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're like brave to dream." I'm like, "Is it because I'm black? Like, what is it? Like, I don't know." And we all have our different whatever the issues are. Mine
Mhm.
could be race, but it could be also my sex or my background or whatever. Or for you guys. So we
Mhm.
want everybody to just use what you can because, as I say, being creative. Jason said, you could be a student filmmaker, you could be making films, whatever, and you still fit in the same film festival because the audience, right? So
Right.
always keep that stuff kind of open, you guys.
Well, and know that just because you're not Taylor Swift or Beyonce or those big names,
That
there are still people who work in the industry whose names you don't know.
that
Mhm.
part,
You
that
know,
part, love that.
so when you say this is what you do, and people are like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I had no idea. Yeah, because I'm not Taylor Swift, sure, but I do make a living doing some of the same things that she does, and
Absolutely.
that's what's so cool about it.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I mean, you guys told us a little bit about it. I mean, we're learning more about your diner stuff, but like, what would be the origin story of the brand? I guess like where you guys got the name Chill Bucket. Like, there's a whole logo and everything. You guys like, I'm gonna put it up here, but like, what's the branding part of it? I never asked you guys that question.
So Dakota hates this story, but
What?
we
I do
Why?
not hate the story.
Well, then change it because
Chill
this is your
Bucket
branding
Chill
story.
Bucket started as a shell corporation.
Shell gas, everyone. Shell gas.
Right? No. So we were doing this fundraiser and we weren't quite sure about the legality of it.
Mhm.
I was like, well, we can just run it through we'll start a production company, and
Yeah,
then if it's illegal, then they go after the production company and not us,
I love that.
and we're fine. Turns out it was legal, so we were okay.
Right.
By the
But
way, I was not involved at this point.
That's
This era of
all-
Chill Bucket, we're talking '08. Jeff and I have a significant age difference, and I was not involved in this part.
But it's like not me.
Not out
in case
there.
anyone else is listening in. No. I love
it's
it. I
not
love
that
it.
significant age
Yeah.
difference, just saying. And yeah, so then we did this fundraiser for years and years and years, and then Dakota and I met at doing a show with the Harrison Players, and we were like, let's do things together, how can we do this? And I was like, well, I happen to have this production company that is a thing, and we have a business license. So
There you
we
go.
did it. You know, that was
Awesome.
and that was really it. You know, it was sort
Mhm.
of it was convenience and
Mhm.
it was right place at the right time.
Mhm.
And we sort of started our new era with Valentine's Cabaret,
Mhm.
and we've done three or four Valentine's cabarets now. Um, and you know, we set ourselves a goal of we had this whole 10-year plan. And then that was completely wiped out by world events. Um, and we're trying to get back to it, but we're taking our time and having fun and going with it.
Absolutely.
But you know what's interesting? I know Jeff is trying to make light of a little bit of this, but what's interesting about what you said about dreaming and kind of like being fearful of those dreams is that even though this is pretty, small starting out and when we're first talking about it, I was I met Jeff doing a show and he was a stage manager and I was in it. A very chill community theater. And then we just developed like a kind of a similar, not we develop, but we're very much similar mindsets of like how to get something done.
Mhm.
And then sometimes we have no similarities at all. But working together,
Yeah.
we bring like the yin and yang together. So we started thinking like, oh wow, we like working together. And I was telling him, complaining to him about some awful project, which ended up being a scam, also, which I enjoy. But I was like, oh my God, they're like doing this. How am I going to stage manage this? They don't have like any of their stuff together. They're telling me all of these things that don't make sense. And I just
Right.
see so many ways that we could improve it. And I literally said to him on the phone, like, don't you just wish we could just like do our own, like be the people in charge? Because you're always
Mm.
like working for someone and you're thinking, what's happening here? And he's like, we actually could be. And I was like, oh, I had never thought that that was a possibility. So that it kind of ties into what you're saying.
Yeah,
So
that would really
since
become
then,
something.
we've just been working, whatever it is, even though it's changed and morphed, and maybe we're producing different things than we thought, we're still doing things.
Yeah.
And they bring us joy, and hopefully they bring the people that are coming joy.
Very similar to me and my partner Jason on the T show. It's like, he wants to fund artists and empower people like me. He wants to be the CNN to my Don Lemon show, right? Like it's like we all work together. I'm like, whatever, I'll get it's the same. We've always known that we want to do something in media. We're always like, I'm the person, but it's like, I'm like, he's like the T show. You bring the people, who I'm gonna help you, like, and we just did it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it, and then stop thinking about it. And I think that kind of sort of where you guys were, like you are the solution you were looking for, right? And it's like, thank God for that. That's what I picked up on why I wanted to. It wasn't just because the play was cool. Like I would have quit. You guys were cool. I'm gonna see this through because I want to be close to them. Like everybody felt that. Everyone was saying that it's because of Dakota. I'm like, all right, because of Dakota and Jeff. That's why I will not. You know what I mean? Like, and not a lot of production companies will get that. Other people are like, we don't like you. It's not nice here. And I just want to say, if you guys can maintain that as you keep going up, that's like the real good stuff, right? Like you guys can really be in your 80s and be like, we did, you're hosting the Emmys now. And it's like, we did all these things. It's so possible. And that's kind of like where I seriously see the two of you guys. I'll be there too. But doing something different. I just want to leave us all. I think we said so many things here. And like, this is a really good interview already. I don't want to add any more for our poor audience. I just wanted to ask this fun question. Has any of you guys ever attended the big five festivals? Cannes, TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, Sundance, Berlin, and Venice comes up as the top five. So those who listen in, those are the ones to make it, make it. You guys ever been to any of those? I
No,
almost went to Sundance. It was too much. It was too much to even almost. It was like, forget it. But I
I've
was
watched
almost there.
films.
Huh? Yeah, no, I do.
I've watched
This
films
is
from
coming
there.
up in January, so I'll see if there's anything. Because sometimes someone always just like, "Hey, you want to come with us?" Whatever. But we'll see what happens. So keep your ears peeled for the up 2025 like festival dates, you guys. If you're into film, if you have no ideas, just go talk to people. Whatever. That's where the ideas come from. And anything else you guys want to leave us here, our audience, you guys have the final mic. What to look forward to? Anything specific that we should like start looking out for tickets or anything like that? This is the opportunity here for you guys.
Well, starting in the new year, we are definitely going to start taking submissions for next year's film festival. So we collect submissions for a good part of the year, maybe 9 months. Um,
Oh,
we're
that's good to
really
know.
hoping to beef up and increase our student films. We'd love to have a little bit of a separate portion, maybe that can highlight those students a little more. Um, and we love that those guys are able to, those high school and college age kids with a dream who are thinking about going into
Yeah.
this field can come and connect with us and connect with some more seasoned pros. So we'd really like for this year to highlight and increase their involvement a little
I did
more.
a NYFA student film. It was legit. And I'm like, access to equipment. So I'll hit up some of them because we were still close and they were like, hey, we're doing other films. They graduated and everything. So, but they're still, we all have our film.
Beautiful.
They're trying to say
Yeah.
they all didn't get opportunities or whatever. But I'm like, let's just start doing that. I have, like they have been my contact to that. So I could still go there and like see. But yeah, let's get flyers or just start talking and connecting more stuff. Because yeah, students are a big part of it too. Even for me starting off as a new performer, it's like, you don't know, I don't know, but we'll get this together. Like back to
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all that
Yeah.
it is. I love that. So you guys heard, look out for that. I'll have the links here, my side to here, all my contacts. I'll keep the below the line a little bit more active in my side too. So hopefully we get better, not better, more submissions.
Yeah.
Thank
Um,
you.
of
And
course.
we might be producing our own film as well.
That's
So
it. Look
we've
at
been
that.
approached to produce a film. So we might be producing our own short film,
Yeah,
um, and maybe bringing back a cabaret. People should just follow us on Instagram, Chill Bucket,
that part.
and and that's where they'll find out everything
That's
about
it.
us.
That's it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing holidays. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the T show. We hope all the artists that we catch on this interview, you guys are inspired and we are not, like this is why we do this. Join our community, tap in with us independently, individually. I'm at the Reddit Media Group. You guys know me to here, Savannah Inc. This is the Lion Pit Show. We have a lot of different productions in different ways that you can get in. Thanks so much for Dakota and Jeff for being so open and honest today. This is like a deep one today, but thank you guys for being sharing, and I hope to hear you guys on somebody else's podcast soon.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you
Happy
for having
Sunday.
us.
Of course, of course. And